Hello and welcome to another episode of Raman Reasons. On this episode, I'm going to be looking at what is in store as far as women's cricket is concerned. India take on Australia in a three-match series in the ODI format, and it's going to be a cracker of a series because both these sides have been at each other for a while now. But Australia has so far managed to continue its dominance as far as the ODIs are concerned. Now let's have a look at what has happened in the past when these two sides faced off. In 2023, Australia came to India and they had a clean sweep of the ODI series. They did extraordinarily well to win the series 3-0. And when the Indian girls went to Australia a year back, they once again continued their dominance, and the top order batters just were too good for the Indian attack. Let's see what is likely to happen in the upcoming series between India and Australia. Is going to be a great series for the simple reason this is uh, just before the World Cup, and therefore both these sides will like to try out plans and what is likely to be a very important phase for India and Australia. I say important phase because the preparatory part of a World Cup is absolutely important, and therefore both these sides will look to put out their best in this series and also try out the plans that might probably be employed in the forthcoming World Cup. Now, let's see how the teams stack. If you look at Australia, they look quite formidable. There are lots of multi dimensional cricketers, and they have a fantastic top order batting because if you look at how they're gone on, Georgia Wall, Phoebe Litchfield, and of course the experienced Alisa Haley and Beth Mooney, they are formidable and they've been extremely consistent. Phoebe Litchfield and Georgia Wall are the next gen cricketers for Australia, but they've been explosive and they've found ways and means to get runs by being aggressive and also by being very, very positive. Alisa Haley likes to dominate the bowling attacks, and of course, Beth Mooney churns out runs for fun. And then they have a plethora of all rounders: Elise Perry, Talia Megra, Ashley Gardner, to name a few. And then, of course, they also have Grace Harris, and the list never stops. And they also have a good spin attack too. Georgia Wareham, Alina King, Sophie Molyneux, and of course, they also do another thing extraordinarily well, which is blooding in one or two youngsters periodically, and that's exactly what they're looking to do here in this series as well. They got Charlie Knott, and also they got Fulton, another keeper alongside Beth Mooney and Alisa Ely. As far as the fast bowling department is concerned, they got plenty of options. Elise Perry, and of course Talia Megra can bowl medium pace, and you also have Darcy Brown, Kim Garth, and Annabelle Sutherland too to do the job. And as far as chest specialist bowler is concerned, you got Megan Short, who's been highly experienced and who's very, very successful in the ODI format. The composition of the squad suggests that Australia can manage on any kind of surface and they can overcome any challenges. But there again, they also are wary of the fact that India can really put it across them on a given day. But again, that's remained a kind of a threat for quite a period of time, with Australia overcoming all the challenges and ensuring that they have the upper hand every time they play against India. They have the ability collectively to overcome challenges and to tide through tough phases in any format of the game. Now let's get to India as to what it is that they need to do to try and win this series and take that confidence into the World Cup. The important thing for India is for the batting lineup to bat deep and also to be consistent because we see flashes of brilliance from the Indian girls, and as a unit they need to try and be at their best. The openers have been extraordinarily good in the recent past. Pratika Rawal and Smriti Mandana have been providing great starts for the team, and if they continue to do that, that will be extremely helpful for the strong Indian middle order to capitalize on. They got Armanpreet Kaur, Richa Ghosh, Deepthi Sharma, Jemima Rodriguez, Harleen Diol. It's a fairly good deep batting lineup, and the important thing is for them to click as a unit. And as far as the spin department is concerned, they'll be well served by Deepthi Sharma, Sneh Rana, Radha Yadav, and of course Charni is also there in the squad. If at all somebody can perhaps look at the Indian team with a little bit of apprehension, is it's going to be in the pace bowling department because they don't have real quick bowlers to blast out the opposition. And given that the Australian batters like to have a go at the opposition bowlers, the Indian pacers have to rely on getting the ball to swing because Renuka Thakur is one who can make the ball swing. Arundhati Reddy mixes up well. She's got the ability to take the pace off. But the important thing here is that they got to ensure that they get their act right because they got very little margin for error when they're up against a strong and aggressive Aussie batting lineup. So it'll all depend on the middle game as far as India is concerned because they'll be banking on their spinners to put the skids and also try and drive the runs. And that's probably something that has been happening for a while. And India's strength even now remains in the spin department. So as far as Indian team is concerned, the middle game will be important, not only while they are on the field, but also when they are batting too, because the batters need to employ all the gears and they also need to run really hard, which is something the Australians do really well. They employ all the gears and they also run very hard, and that's the reason they tide over difficult situations even under adverse conditions. The venue, Mulanpur, is a venue where the pitches are good and the batters will obviously have a good time. And as far as that aspect is concerned, that's going to be a constant. And of course, they play two games at Mulanpur and they're playing the third game at Delhi. And Delhi, once again, is a small ground, and the pitch generally is really good at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. So there's going to be a run feast during this series, but quite obviously it'll all come down to the efficacy of the bowlers and especially the slower bowlers. As far as slower bowlers are concerned, both the sides have fantastic spinners, and it'll all uh, come down to who is going to be really at their best on a given day. So we are in for an enthralling series, and if India can go on to win the series against Australia, they will take a lot of confidence when they start their campaign in the World Cup, which is not too far away. And it's always good to play a tough side just before the World Cup because that'll prime a side to get to their competitive best and also provide a lot of confidence if they put up good performances against the best in the business. So this is a very important series as far as India is concerned. It's a kind of dress rehearsal for them for the upcoming World Cup. And as far as Australia is concerned, they'll try to utilize this series to get into a rhythm, as it were. And they are aware of the challenges that they're likely to face in India when they get into their World Cup campaign. Of course, they have a side which can counter any challenge thrown at them, but there again, they're going to be on the road for a long time and they've got to sustain their intensity and they also have to try and ensure that they do the right things while traveling because adaptability is not just restricted to the field, it also has to be carried forward on off the field as well because the conditions are different, the food is different, and if you are constantly traveling from one place to another during the World Cup campaign, it can be quite challenging. But that is for later. But Australia will obviously look to try and hit the strap straight away when they take on India in the ODI series in the coming week. We are in for some exciting cricket, and I'm sure that all of you would be very keen to see how these teams fare and what kind of entertainment they provide all of you. So that's it for now, and until I catch up with you next time, As I always say, be good and stay safe.